on one thing and one thing only. If you're going to marry and you're going to marry for eternity, you should start out in...
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, November 27th, 2023. I hope all of you had a nice long weekend. It's Cyber Monday. Go get your stuff. Hopefully you had y'all Black Friday shopping, whatever you did. Hope it was fun. Sister Wives Tell All Part 1 was on last night, and Kody Brown was a fumbling man that was a narcissist being injured and trying to deflect and project and gaslight and blame everyone but himself. But along the way, he made some shocking admissions, like 1, I wasn't in love with any of them. 2, I basically left my whole family for Robyn because she was the only person I ever loved. 3, they're just mad at me because I never loved them and only love Robyn. Duh. And there was some other comments by Robyn pretending like she didn't understand or didn't know. And Kody basically just overall looking like a polygamist narcissist that lied publicly for years. And his entire lie of 17 seasons of pretending like he loved these women and it was all about love blew up in his face. So Kody and Robyn looked like really I don't feel like most of you that come to this channel like Kody or Robyn, but I felt like after watching last night, you would like them less because they were that clueless. Yeah. So let's dive into this topic. Before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and make sure to click on the bell so you never miss a video. So basically, instead of going through the entire recap, I just want to go through some of his confessions that he made that I thought were, oh my gosh, and some of the responses by Robyn.
And I met her and I started weeping for joy and didn't stop for months. We're in kind of a sort of a constant little civil war with...
What I hated about this tell-all right off the bat is that there seemed to be absolutely no direction. At least that's how it appeared from the editing. Kody just like went in and started blabbling. Like it was like he was vomiting out of his mouth without yelling. And he was contradicting himself even in his like own paragraphs of speaking. He would say one thing, and if that didn't sound right, he would change the story. He would say things like, I didn't love them, and then she would call him out on that, and he said, well, no, I did love them, but I wasn't in love with them. He was so all over the place, and really all I heard him say over and over and over again was that he met Robyn and he fell for her hard, and wanted to just be with her, and he never had that with the rest. I don't know if I necessarily believe that he didn't have that with the rest. I just feel like Kody is rewriting history because I'm sure at some point he loved the other ladies. Robyn's just the newer version. She's the one that he can easily control. But he's trying to like make it seem like this unrequited love. Like it was this love that they couldn't have, and they had to like keep it secret from everyone, and it was so horrible. And it's like he's trying to turn this into like this was our love story, which is so disgusting because even if you don't agree with polygamy, this is like a man basically leaving his family for one person and saying, bye guys. But in this case, he's telling the world that he's bringing this woman into his family to be a partner with the rest of the family. And then in here admitting that it wasn't really like that at all. He just wanted to be with her. And then all of the women going, yeah, we already knew that. So when Robyn responds, this is what she said.
See, and I didn't know that. Yeah. I did not know that until like just recently.
Really? Your husband is saying he wept for joy for months because he had found you.
And hiding my relationship and any kind of connection I had with Kody.
So what happened in this situation was Kody effectively says, I left everyone for Robyn. And it's because of my relationship with Robyn that I just wanted to be with her because I loved her so much. And I was singing and crying, and I was crying tears of joy and sadness and happiness because I finally found the love of my life. And when Robyn is told that, she's like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that I was the only person he's ever loved. I didn't know that he felt that way about me. And I'm like, yeah, right. And then she was so defensive, very defensive, because she doesn't want to be the one that was to blame. So Kody is saying it's because of our love that all of this blew up, right? But Robyn doesn't want to say that it's because of their love that the family blew up, because in my eyes, Robyn doesn't want to feel like she's the reason why this family fell apart. Kody made the choice to be with Robyn, right? Robyn made the choice to be with him. And so her reaction is, I didn't know. And I suppressed and hid my feelings for him. To which I'm like, you did? When were you hiding your relationship or your feelings, Robyn? When? When you were speaking Kody and when you were acting like you knew how to speak for Kody? Yeah, it makes no sense. And Christine even shared that she knew that they were soulmates before Kody did. And it was before they even got married. That's how she knew. And that's when she started grieving. So that Mary says, I don't know that he necessarily didn't love the rest of us. He had the capacity to do it. I just think that he stopped trying or stopped caring. Janelle doesn't agree that they didn't love each other. It's like he's just trying to minimize them and make them small so that he can manage his rejection. And so narcissists don't love anyone. I mean, I'm not sure if you know that, but they don't. And they only love themselves. So even though Kody says he loves Robyn, he only loves what he's getting from Robyn. And that's the pinnacle of his success, is how he views her, as a trophy.
You know, I don't like triangulating because what has happened in our Janelle, I don't want to ask about all the kids. And seeing Christine and Janelle talk about me without me. They're trash talking me because I'm guilty. Actually, yes, I am, of not loving them.
So Kody basically this entire episode, he uses words like triangulate and gaslight, and he's clearly reading content online that people believe he's a narcissist. And so he's like, I don't want to triangulate my family, and he's again blaming Christine and Janelle for being upset with him because he didn't love them. And he's like, yeah, they're just trash talking me because I'm guilty of not loving them. And then when she wants him to expand on that, he's like, wait. I mean, like, I wasn't in love with them. I mean, I had love for them. But it's not even my responsibility that when I tried to show love and it wasn't really working, that's still not my fault. He will take no responsibility. So it's like, I left them for Robyn because I wanted to be with Robyn with my unrequited love. And they're mad at me and trash talking me. P.S. They're not trash talking. But he spent a lot of time just like blaming Christine and Janelle for being upset that he loved Robyn and that he thinks that that's the reason why everyone hates him. He is so completely delusional. It was some parts entertaining and other parts just like I wanted to bash my head into a wall kind of thing. Like that's kind of how I felt. It was just so frustrating in other parts. And Janelle and Christine throughout this whole entire situation are basically just saying what they've said the whole time. Like they just couldn't stay in a situation where their needs weren't getting met.
A Christmas tree for this party, it makes, if I'm small, it makes them feel okay for how they've treated me.
Basically, Kody just told on himself. He said that the reason why he trash talks Christine and Janelle is because if he can make them feel small and feel bad and make them look stupid and say things that are like defaming and derogatory of them, it makes them feel better, him feel better for how he treated them. So he can say that he didn't love them. He can say I wasn't in love with them as a way to justify the fact that he treated them terribly. But instead he's saying that Christine and Janelle did that to him. But he's really doing that to Christine and Janelle and to Mary. He was in fine form let me tell you. And that was discussing the fight that he had with Janelle, the fight, that huge blowout where he's saying, I got triggered because of a tree, a Christmas tree. He got triggered because of a Christmas tree. He got triggered and blew up at Janelle because of Christine. He admitted it was about Christine. He was mad at her for spending her holidays and picking Christine over him. So he blew up and screamed and yelled and then blamed her for not being empathetic to him. And then later goes on to say that he doesn't believe that Janelle even has empathy or that she has any emotions. He basically calls Janelle a narcissist. It's insanity.
You know, wouldn't let me. It's never like, well, I could have done this better. He never self-reflects and says, hey, I could have done this better.
I think he really needs to do a lot of self-introspection, and that's really hard to do.
Janelle admits that the day of that fight, she had prepared herself ahead of time, thinking of things that she had wanted to say to him. And that all just got thrown out the window because Kody came in very hot, came in very temper. His temper was flying. He was yelling. He wasn't letting her speak. And she went on to say something that's pretty insightful and said that, you know, he's always blaming someone else, but he rarely ever acknowledges like what he's done or his role. And Mary agreed with that. Mary was like, yeah, you know, if Kody is going to understand how this all happened and what happened in the family, he's going to have to do some self-reflection. He's going to have to evaluate his own behavior. And Mary doesn't know that he has the capacity or the desire to do that because it's hard work and he doesn't want to ever be wrong. It's like Christine, Janelle, and Mary can all see very clearly that Kody is a narcissist, that Kody is constantly blaming other people, that Kody never takes responsibility, that Kody is always looking for a scapegoat or something else to be the problem. And they can see what he's doing. Robyn, on the other hand, does not. She takes Kody's side in the fight.
Because Christine,
So all of that trash talking Kody was doing about Janelle and Christine, it all comes down to jealousy, flat jealousy. Kody was mad at Janelle and blew up at her because Janelle doesn't have a bond to him anymore. She was empathetic and understanding of Christine's situation, didn't want to sever her relationship with Christine, didn't want to walk away from Christine, wanted to continue her relationship with Christine, and had no empathy for Kody. But what Kody fails to realize is that why would she have empathy for Kody when in the middle of Kody's disagreements with Christine, she was having her own disagreements with Kody. Kody was being horrible to her, and that had nothing to do with Christine. He was being terrible with her about the kids. He didn't help her with her house. He didn't find her housing. He used all of her money with Robyn on Robyn's house. He siloed her into a world of being like a booty call. He was treating the kids terribly, her kids terribly, blowing up at her constantly, yelling at her, and that had nothing to do with Christine. They were fighting well before Christine ever left. He just decided to go off and cut her off because that she refused to. It was an excuse for him, basically an excuse. He uses Christine as an excuse. Well, you're going to be sides with Christine? Well, then you're out of my life. Well, Kody, yeah, sure. But how about the way that you treated Janelle's kids? How about the way that you treated Janelle? How about Janelle's valid points about your mistreatment in your marriage with her? I mean, that's just my 2 cents. And when Christine is asked about this, she actually makes the most solid point of the night.
And I'm like, well, buddy, this is what she can talk to me. And I will work things out with her. And because we've had our fights, we work them out. So
for almost 30 years, the two of those women were basically forced to be co-parents because Kody was hardly ever around. He was an absentee father. He was never, he basically abandoned the kids as soon as he met Robyn, which he effectively admits in this tell-all. And Christine is absolutely dead on right. Like, he's jealous of the two of them for picking each other and not picking him. Kody spent so much of his relationship with them triangulating them against each other and pitting them against each other that I think that he assumed that that would work to his advantage so that when one would leave, the others would stay with him and be loyal to him because he's made them feel badly about the other person or planted ideas about that other person in their head. A lot like what he's done to Robyn when it comes to Janelle, Christine, and Mary, like making her feel like they're all out to get her when that's just not the truth. Kody admits that later on, and we'll do that in a separate video because that is a whole video that we need to talk about. So Christine says, yes, Kody, you're jealous and you blew up at Janelle and screamed at her and yelled at her, and your marriage fell apart because of jealousy, because she was closer to me and you couldn't get in between our bond. And Kody then admits that plural marriage is not fair. Shocking, because that's not what he said before.
This is what it's.
If you look at it from a perspective of one-on-one, institutionally, it's an unfair lifestyle. I never said it wasn't. They got to choose their husband, and they chose. No, I never wrote her off. I just didn't feel the same kind of devotions to the relationship.
For 17 seasons, Kody has tried to make it seem like everything was equitable. He was spending all of his time and barely. He was being fair. And he said that it was fair because he was giving them each the same amount of time. Now he's saying it's not a fair lifestyle. It's actually unfair, but it's not my fault that it's not fair because they chose it. Mind you, Christine was indoctrinated from birth to believe that this was her only righteous path to becoming, going into heaven, the celestial kingdom. Janelle was groomed by him to come in as a plural wife. Mary, again, groomed from the time she was a child that this was the only righteous path. They didn't choose it. There's no choice when you can't consent and when your eternity is on the line. So he's saying it's not fair. And she asks, well, is it because, are you mad at her because of Christine? Are you jealous? Did you turn on Janelle because of Christine? And he's like, well, no, but I mean, it did make me feel not as favorable towards her. Then he goes into this weird thing about COVID and how he almost died from COVID and how Janelle wasn't empathetic to him almost dying from COVID, even though he didn't almost die from COVID. That's just me.
It was pretty dark. It felt like such a betrayal. And
That the two of them were together.
well, yeah, when I was sick.
And I was getting ready to call Christine and say, we got to go home. Freaking me out. He was really scaring me. And I did consider coming home. He's like, no, don't come home. You can't come over to the house anyway. There's nothing.
I'd like to remind you that Kody was filming the entire time that he had COVID. He was literally making video diaries of him being sick. He took Robyn to the hospital during this time and she wasn't admitted. Kody never once just said that he was having trouble breathing. He said that he was unable to sleep and delirious. He never needed to be hospitalized. He never went to the doctor himself. He never almost died. Christine even said flat out that he is like a hypochondriac and he makes everything a bigger deal than it is. And he wasn't as sick as he's let on. And so it's just another excuse. Well, you were on a vacation with Christine when I almost died. Kody, it's kind of offensive to families of mine, for instance, that have had a loved one almost die and have been with a loved one on life support, watching them fight for their lives. You were not fighting for your life, but it's just another way for him to play the victim. Oh, they betrayed me because they were on vacation when I almost died from COVID. Kody, shut up. That's so offensive to all the people that did die from COVID. And again, Christine comes in with the clutch. Janelle had COVID and Kody never once checked on her, never once helped her, never once did anything for her, went to go take care of her after saying that if any of his wives got sick, he would be there for him when he wasn't. He literally wanted her to leave a vacation that was scheduled and planned ahead of time to come home to go to the store for him, to get him some stuff, to put out on the front door for him, even though he could have gone to the store himself, or he could have sent Aurora. He could have had any number of people go. He was only doing that as a way to control her. And Christine's right. He's just trying to guilt her to make her feel bad. And it's horrible. Kody will find a way to make himself the victim in every single situation. And it just gets worse. Because towards the end of the episode, he then accused the entire family of bullying Robyn, which we will get into in the next video. But this video was all about Kody and Robyn rewriting history and Kody admitting that he left everyone for Robyn and Robyn denying that that happened. And Christine and Janelle bringing actual facts to the story. And if you didn't see my last video about getting hacked, my Facebook page was hacked. Please make sure to follow my brand new Facebook page if you're still on Facebook. I don't always go over there, but it was one of my biggest platforms. So check out my new page, Without a Crystal Ball, Katie Joy, which I will link in the description box below. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.